Hey guys, welcome to part 6 of this tutorial for Experience by Ludovico Einaudi. If you haven't watched the other parts, there's links in the description or click on the info card on the top right of the screen. Here's what we're gonna learn in this part. Okay, so you probably noticed that this part sounds a little different than the parts before, because you won't play a pattern of 4 notes on the right hand this time. You will play something else. But let's start with the left hand again. It's very simple. First off, you move an octave down from what you've played before you started up here. Now you move down, and you start on these two F sharps at the same time. Okay, that's for the first chord. Then you move up to these two A's. Then to C sharp, and then to D. Alright? This is for the first time you play the 4 chords. For the second time you will move up. So you played these two Ds last, and then when the 4 chords start again, you won't move down to play F sharp down here, but you'll be up here. And you will play F sharp, C sharp, F sharp. So you also add the C sharp in the middle. So you play F sharp, C sharp, F sharp. Then move up to A, E, A. And then you move down to C sharp, G sharp, C sharp. And then you move up to D, A, D. Alright? So you started down here with just 2 F sharps. A, C sharp, D. So first you just move up. And then once you reach D and the 4 chords start again, you will play F sharp and also add this middle note on every chord. Move up. And now move down again. You won't go up like before, but for the 3rd and 4th chord, you move down again to C sharp, G sharp, C sharp. And up again to D, A, D. Alright? Let me play that for you once more. Alright, that's the left hand for this part. Pretty simple. And here's what the right hand is doing. Alright. What you mostly do with the right hand is play this pattern of 3 notes, A, G sharp, C sharp, downwards like this. Except in the beginning you leave away this G sharp and just play A, C sharp. Okay? So you start with just A, C sharp, and then you always play 3 notes. You add this G sharp in the middle. Okay? So for the first chord, you will play A, C sharp once, and then you play 3 notes 3 more times. You play that with those 2 F sharps down here. Alright, now pay close attention to this. When you just play 2 notes, it takes just as much time as playing the 3 notes. Alright, that's because when you play the 3 notes, the first two notes are just an eighth instead of a fourth note, which means they're half as long as this note. Okay? Then for the second chord, you will just continue to play these three notes, but this time you will play them 4 times, like so. Alright, so you start with this. And then for the second chord, the exact same thing happens for the third chord. Move up with your left hand to C sharp, and again, play these 3 notes on the right hand 4 times. Alright. And now for the fourth chord, the right hand changes, and you will play this. Alright, so just A, C sharp, and then A, D, and then back to A, C sharp, then again A, D. Alright, that happens on the fourth chord, so you play this D on the left hand. Alright. Okay, and now the second time you play the 4 chords, with the left hand you're up here now, right, on F sharp, C sharp, F sharp. And this time you won't play A, C sharp in the beginning for the right hand, but you will immediately start playing 3 notes. Alright? So just in the very beginning, you just play 2 notes, but when you started the second time, you will play 3 notes right away. Same for the second chord. And also the third chord. And you also play the same thing on the fourth chord. Okay? So the second time you play the 4 chords, the left hand changes, of course, and you play the chords up here, and the right hand will play almost exactly the same again, except the beginning won't start with A, C sharp, but will start immediately with A, G sharp, C sharp. Alright? So let me play that part once more for you. Alright, that's it for the first half of this part. Now we're going to continue with the second half. Here's what we're going to learn now. Okay, so in this part, there's a lot of things that we've already learned for the left and right hand. So it's going to be simple, but the ending is going to be a little bit difficult. Okay, so once again, we start with the left hand. Just like the part before, you will start on these 2 F sharps down here with the left hand. Then move up to A. Then C sharp. And now for the fourth chord, instead of just playing those two Ds, you will also already add this A in the middle. Okay? So for the first three chords, you just play two notes. And then for the fourth chord, you already add this middle note. Alright, then the second time you play the four chords, you will also always add this middle note. You again move up to F sharp up here. Add this C sharp in the middle. Move up again to A, E, A. Then move down to C sharp, G sharp, C sharp. And then D, A, D again. Okay? So the left hand is very similar to the part before, except that you already add this A on the fourth chord the first time you play it. Okay? That's the only difference actually. So once more, left hand. Alright, that's it for the left hand for this part. Now for the right hand. Here's what you're going to play with the right hand. Alright, I believe it is the third part in which the right hand already played something like this. What you do is, you always play A and C sharp, and in between, you will play this C sharp down here. Okay, so it will sound like this. Alright? You basically always emphasize A and C sharp. And you play A and C sharp, and this C sharp always in between, 4 times. Okay? And we can immediately combine that with the left hand. It will sound like this. Same thing for the second chord. And now for the third chord, right hand changes. The right hand will play this. And I believe that's also similar to the third part. You will always play A, G sharp, C sharp up here, and then C sharp down here. Okay, that's the 4 notes, that's a pattern. So if we call this 1, 2, 3, 4, you will always play 3, 2, 4, 1. Okay? And you will also play that 4 times. So the third chord will sound like this. And then for the fourth chord, you go back to the pattern before. You'll play 3 notes on the left hand, and on the right hand you again play A, C sharp with this C sharp in between. Alright. Now for the second time you play the 4 chords, your left hand moves up, F sharp, C sharp, F sharp up here, and your right hand will play the exact same thing again for the first 3 chords. Okay? So it will sound like this. Same for the second chord. And also the same for the third chord. And now for the fourth chord, it'll change a little bit. You will play a transition on the right hand. It will sound like this. And you would probably recognize this exact transition because we've played it on the left hand already down here. But now you're gonna have to learn to play that on the right. So what you do is this. You play the pattern of A, C sharp with the C sharp in between twice, like this. Alright, play that twice. And then you will play A once more. And then jump up to F sharp and play downwards. E, D, C sharp, B, A, G sharp. Okay? So again. Alright? With the left hand it will sound like this. And also pay attention that after playing this pattern twice and then playing the transition, there won't be a pause between this A and this F sharp up here, right? You go. So you got to jump up pretty quickly from playing this A, playing this F sharp, and then playing downwards. And that's quite easy to miss, this jump from A to F sharp up here. You probably have to practice that a little bit. Okay, so I'll play the whole thing for you once more. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.